Hello, my name is Chetna and in today's video we'll be learning the usage of filter function in Excel, where I have the following application of the filter functions covered for you. So let's get started. Here, starting on with here, I have taken here 3 columns named as name, group and wins, where I want to filter out my results on the basis of group C. So I will take in here my filter function. The filter function asks for 3 arguments, where the first one is this array. This array is the range of cells that I want to filter from. The second argument is include, which is the condition. This returns a boolean array of true and false values to the filter function. And in my criteria, I will take here this range. This group column must be equal to group C, and only those results must be filtered out. And in case if there is nothing to filter out from the results, then this if empty argument will be returned by the function. This is basically the replacement of the error message if there is no value to be returned by the function. So I am typing here a string which is no value if there is nothing to be returned by the function. And now if I hit enter, you can see that the rows that contain only the group C have been filtered out successfully. The next one is to filter horizontally. So here you can see that I have taken here my data in horizontal form. The filter function works the similar way in the horizontal manner. So here I am selecting here the range that I want to filter from. The next one is my condition. So in condition I want this group row to be equal to this group B. That my group must be equal to group B and only those results should be filtered out. And in case there is no entry similar to group B in my array, then no results will be returned. So I can change here. You can see that the results for group B have been returned. I can change here the groups in the cell B6, and here you can see the results for group A filtered out, group C, and if I type in here group D, which does not exist in my array, nothing is returned. The next application is filter multiple columns. This condition will be used when I want to apply 2 conditions on my filter criteria. And we will use the AND logic. The AND logic is basically both of our conditions must be true and only that result will be filtered out. So for example, here I want my results to contain group A, that the student must be from group A and have 2 wins. So in order to do that, I will take here the filter function. I want to filter from this array. My condition is that I will take my condition in brackets. Here I have 2 conditions. The first condition is my group must be equal to group A. The first condition has over and I will close the parenthesis and put in here that a asterisk symbol. This asterisk implies the AND logic, and anything to the left and right of AND logic will basically its arguments and return a true. This AND will return a true only if both of the conditions to the left and right of it are true. So on the left I have taken the group condition, and on the right of this asterisk I am taking here this wins condition, that this wins must be equal to 2. So both of the conditions have been now specified. The last argument is optional but is important to specify. So here I am taking here no results if there is nothing to filter out and hit enter. So you can see here that the results that had the students that had the group A and had 2 wins exactly have been filtered out. And if I want to check here if anyone from group B also had 2 wins, then I can change the argument from here. Group C 2 wins. There is no one from group C that had 2 wins. In group C I can check here if anyone had 1 win. So you can see here that Nick had 1 win from group C. The next one is the filter with OR criteria. OR criteria is different from AND criteria. OR criteria basically turns a true when one of the conditions to the left or right of it becomes true. So here I want to check in whether here I want to find the students that either had 4 wins or had 0 win. So I can type in here my function, filter function, select the array that I want to filter from. In the include I will take my condition in bracket. I want to include whether this win is equal to 4, close the parenthesis and take a plus sign. This plus sign will imply an OR condition, and to the right of it I will again take here win, and this one win must be equal to 0. So if any of the condition to the left or right of this plus symbol becomes true, which means that the student either had 4 wins or had 0 wins, will be filtered out, and in case there is no one, then there is the message. So here you can see that the students with 0 and 4 wins have been filtered. So I can replace here my entries to play around with the formula, and you can see that the students are filtered accordingly. The next application is to filter between dates. Here you can see that I have my last win dates, and I want the students that have been won in between 17 May to 31 May. So what I can do is I can take in here my filter function, select my array to filter out, and in this condition I will specify here that this last win must be greater than or equal to 17 May, and this is the AND logic as I told you earlier, and this last win must be less than 31 May, that it must be earlier than 31 May. So I have taken here the include. So you can see that the students that won between 17 to 31 May have been filtered out. The next application of the filter function is to filter out the duplicates out of my range. I know you can do this from the data tools as well, but this will return me a dynamic range, and if I change anything from here, these duplicate values will update themselves as per the source data. So in order to check whether anything is duplicate in my dataset, I need to use the countif function. The countif function will return me the frequency of each cell in the range. So if the each cell or if any cell is occurring more than once, then it is a duplicate value, and I want to return it by filter function. So in filter function I will select the array that I want to filter from. Here in my filter condition, I will take here the count function to count the occurrence of cells in this range. So this countif function will return me the count of each cell in their range. So if that count is greater than 1, which means that if a cell is occurring more than 1, or if a winner in this range is occurring more than once, then I want to get it filtered. So if there is no one, then there is this message no results. So here you can see that the names that had their occurrence more than once have been filtered out. I can play around with this, and if I add in here one more duplicate, then you can see that this range expands. The next one is filter if cell contains. So here I will search for here the string in these cells. So here you can see that there is SON string, and I want to search it in here. I will take in here the filter function. This is my array from which I want to filter, and I want to check this condition if my search function returns a number, or we can say that the search function finds the string in the array. So here is my string that I want to look for, and this is the last name column that I want to look into. So I will close this search, and if this search returns a number, then the condition will become true, which means that the search has been found in the array. So you can see that those strings that end with or that had SON in between them, those last names have been filtered out. We can play around with this formula as well. I can replace this with HAN, so you can see that Hansen have been filtered out. The next application is filter and aggregate, where we will either find the sum, average or maximum value, or the minimum value of the filtered results. So I want to find here the total number of wins for the group B. So I will add the results of filter function by using the sum function. In filter function I want to filter only the wins, as I want to add the wins, number of wins. And in this include, I want to include only the group B. group B number of wins, and if there is close the brackets and then hit enter. Here you can see that 8 has been returned, which means that there are total number of 8 wins for group B. Similarly, I can find here the average number of wins for group B. So the number of wins need to be filtered out and the group must be group B. So I can close the parenthesis. So there is average number of 2 wins. Similarly, I can find the maximum number of wins of a student in group B. So this is my range to filter out, and I want my group to be equal to B. Close the parenthesis and hit enter. So you can see that maximum number of wins for a student in group B is 3, and in the same way I can use the min function to find out the minimum number of wins for group B. So I will select in here the wins and the group must be equal to B and close my parenthesis. So I can now play with this formula by simply changing the arguments. This error has been returned since there is nothing for group D. The next one is case sensitive filter, and for case sensitive search you can see what is the difference is this group capital A will be treated different from this small a. So if I am searching for the group with capital A, then only those results will be filtered out. So to filter out in a case sensitive manner, I will use the exact function in the filter argument. So I will select in here the range to filter out, and in the include argument I will take this exact function and I want to match this one to this group. Close the bracket and hit enter. So you can see here only the groups that had small a have been filtered out, and if I replace this with capital A, then the results are completely different. The last one is the limit results. The limit results is used when we want to limit our results. So in order to limit results, we can use the index function, starting on with the if error function. So to make sure if there is any error in our results, then that error message could be customized. So in if error function I will take in here the value is returned by the index function. In index function I will take the filter function, and I want to filter from this range my group. The criteria is that my group must be equal to this group C. This is my filter function. So here the second argument of this index function is asking me that which row I want to filter out from the results of filter function. So this is a kind of double filtering our results. So I want here my first and second row to filter out, and the next one is the column number, or you can say that how many columns we want in our results. So I want here the first column, second column and the third column. Since we had 3 columns in our array, we will close this index function, and the second is the argument for if error function. So in case our index function returns any error, then this message will be printed out. So if I hit enter, you can see that there were 4 entries for group C, and only first 2 entries for the students Andrew and Emma have been filtered out. This brings us to the end of the video. I hope you find something useful to learn from here. Thank you for coming. See you in the next video. Bye bye.